be working besides in the school. But I want to jump in. If you are a new grantee, this is going to be completely new to you. So stop me if I go too fast. If you are a returning grantee, this is going to be very familiar to you. But still, feel free to stop and ask questions. We just turned over. So Cityspan is the online data system that we use. We have been using it for a couple of years for data management. This is the first year that we have had our grant applications, our full RFA process and grant applications within Cityspan. And what we're doing there is we really want, it takes away a lot of the data entry at the beginning, because everything that's in your grant agreement rolls over. Everything that's in your grant application rolls over into your grant agreement. So you don't have to enter all of that information that then goes into the data management system. Of course, you're still going to have to enter your staff's names. You're still going to have to enter your youth that are enrolled, etc. Attendance as you go, and those we'll be going over next Thursday as we dive a little deeper into how to use the data management system. But for today, this is going to be pretty quick and easy. We're just going to look at how you're going to execute the grant agreement. So I'm going to share my screen. Mark, can you give me a thumbs up if you're able to see the Cityspan screen here on my computer? Or on your computer, I should say.
Yeah, not quite yet. It's black.
Okay, let me
But
try.
it looks like some other thumbs are up.
Folks are able to see it, or is that?
We see it. Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, so you are going to go to the Cityspan. Here's this link up here, learn24.cityspan.com/learn24. And Mark, if you can put that link in the chat. This is going to take you, this landing page should look very familiar to the one that you went into when you applied for the grant. However, you have to have a different username and password. If I go in here and delete for a second and go in and click my username, you're going to see I have multiple logins to this portal, because each one takes me to a different whether as an administrator, as a grant reviewer, as the RFA portal. So get used to having two. You will have two. One is for any RFAs that you apply for, and that's where you see your program organization. You fill out your application relevant to any grant competition. But then there is the grant management system, right? And so you want to go in, you want to have different credentials for this. And if you are an existing grantee, you should already have this for your FY24. If you are a new grantee and you have not already, Mark, if you'll drop in the Learn24 data at dc.gov. That is our data team, and they will work with you to get you an account set up in our data management system, because this is where you're going to be working to track all of your data moving forward. So we're going to go ahead and log in. And you're going to see here all of the organizations who have ever, well, hold on, my system's moving a little slow. I guess I shouldn't have backed out. There we go. I see all of the organizations, right? And these are, my default is FY23-24 OST, which are existing grants. You're going to want to go in. If you don't see your grant, your organization name, you're going to want to go in to this cycle up here at the top and click MADC, especially if you have multiple grants, because you're probably going to default to the FY24 OST as well. So go in there and make sure you click the cycle, which is MADC, and you see that my screen changed. And now I see my grantees that are MADC grantees, okay? I'm going to go into this demo organization first, but you're going to see there's Alliance of Concerned Men, Arts for Learning. You see your organization name, and then underneath of it is the name of your grant, your MADC grant, okay? So you're going to click on the grant because that is what you're going to be updating. This is where you want to go in and change anything that needs to be changed in program sites and budget narrative. Now, you're going to see that all of these are in unsubmitted stage. So you do have to go in and submit, and you have to do, you see it won't even allow me to go into program sites until I go in and submit my program description. Very similar to that RFA process where it wants you to go in step by step because the coding is aligned across pages. So I'm going to go, you're going to go into program description and you're going to hit submit. And then once you hit submit, it's going to allow you to go into your program sites. And I'm going to back out for a second because our demo, I see there's a bug here. It's not going to let me, you see here, it's not going to let me submit. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to use one of our real live organization grants. Okay, so I'm going to choose higher achievement. Let's go to higher achievement. This will be an easy one to do. So we're going to walk through this process as if you are higher achievement. You're going to click on your grant. And here we see program description. The grant admin information is information that we submit on the back end. It's the grant type, the amount, etc., that populates into your grant agreement, because what we're doing here is coming up with your appendix that will go into your grant agreement. So all of that information has already been entered on the back end. You're going to go into program description, and I'll back out of this afterwards, higher achievement, so don't worry, I'll give you the chance to do this on your own. But you're going to see all of this is what you put into your grant narrative for your program description, your amount, and everything is here. And if you see, I can't edit it. I cannot click on anything in here. That means we, as you recall yesterday, I said you will not be able to change your program design, the percentage of students at risk that you're serving, or your objectives. None of this can be changed. So all you're going to do here once you hit submit, it'll take a couple seconds as it is here. You can see they're working at Brooklyn Middle School as we talked to, as they discussed. I apologize, the system is running a little slow here, maybe because we're all on it. I don't know. Or maybe all on it. I'm just going to try to refresh here. Okay, let's go in again and see if I can do this. If not, I really apologize that this system. There we go. I'm going to hit submit. Hopefully it'll go a little quicker. There we go. You can see it. It indicates submitted. And at any time you can PDF any of these pages, but you'll be able to PDF the full thing at the end. So now program sites has a underline, which means I can click on it. It's linkable, where before it wasn't. So this is where if I was higher achievement was awarded for the full amount, so that is not an issue that they would have to change. So this will, that's why it makes it easier, as they only applied to serve 20 total youth, right? And their grades here. But let's say they had applied to serve multiple schools and for a larger number of youth. So say site one, they applied for 50 kids and they were only funded, or they applied for 20 kids and they were only funded to serve 10, let's say. They would then go in and change this. So you can see these are editable. I'm going to turn it back to 20. And then let's say they had more than one site. They can go up and they can click on, actually you can't if you have only one site, it's not going to allow you, but you can see here where there's this activities, there's a trash can. If you had multiple sites, you would also have a trash can here where you could get rid of one site, but at least one site is required, so that's why there's no trash can there. But if you were only funded to serve one site, then you would hit the trash can on the one that you would delete, You will make any changes basically here. And those changes are site location and total number of youth that you want to edit to make it aligned with your grant award. And once you've changed that number, if you need to, and change the site if needed, then you hit submit. Now, what if you say, oh my gosh, I did that wrong. I need to go in, I did the wrong site. Then you go up here and you hit unlock. Are you sure you want to unlock? Yes, I want to unlock. So now it's editable again. See, I can unclick and click grade served and then submit. So it's pretty easy. You should be familiar with these forms because you did them for your grant application. The two forms, again, that you're able to edit are 3 and 5. Your program sites, because if you're serving fewer youth than you proposed or different sites than you proposed, that's what you're going to want to change for your grant agreement. Support and sustainability is the same as the program description. It's not editable. You just go in and hit submit. And then your budget narrative, again, if you have nothing to change, you're going to hit submit. But if you requested 50,000 and you only received 30,000, this is where you're going to want to go in and change your budget to align. Okay? And then you hit submit. Once you're done with that, you go into application sign off. And because I am not listed as a administrator for higher achievement, I can't go in and sign off, but you will be able to go in and just put your initials or your signature and your title and sign on it. Let me see, what did I do here? Oh, and this is also where it's telling me organization profile. It's wanting that signatory information. Before you complete, it's going to ask you these one additional information. Who is the signatory for your grant agreement? And also your data administrator, which we did not ask in the grant process. So the person who's going to sign your grant agreement and the person that's going to be responsible for entering your data, who is the person who should be at the training next Thursday, you're going to enter that information. And then it will allow you to go in and sign. Now, once you are done, you're going to be able in that sign off to see the full grant agreement. But for now, I'm just going to show you, we can click on this PDF and it does, because it's large, take a minute to upload. Again, once you sign off, you'll see the full grant agreement, and inside of the section that says, well, hold on, let me not get ahead of myself. Let me just show you here. You'll see that this is the PDF. This is the addendum that is attached to the grant agreement, and it's all the information of what you agree to. Okay, but when you go in here, and I'm just going to, for the sake of this, show you test, and I'll clear this out. When we're done, test, oops, test. Let's see if this will allow us to move forward here. But I think you can see it's pretty self-explanatory, and you should be fairly familiar with this. So let's hit save there. Oh, I need a title here. And then let's submit. You know what? I don't want to hit submit here because I'm afraid that it's going to lock it. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. Over here in this menu bar, you can toggle back and forth between the organization profile and the grants. So we're going into higher achievement here, and I apologize. I wanted to be able to go into this application sign off, but I don't know if I'll have authority. 2, it may just be that I haven't submitted. But once you go in there, you also can see the full grant agreement. So that's where you're going to see all of the provisions, the expectations, confidentiality, background clearances, all of the things that we went over yesterday that we reference are part of the grant agreement. You're going to see inside of your application sign off. That's so you'll be able to click it. We're working on the addendum. You're updating program sites and budget narratives so that your addendum is complete. But inside application sign off is where, and it says here, the proceeding forms and organization profile must be submitted. Okay, so that's why it's wanting us to go in and change that before you go in there, because then you're going to sign off and it's going to be complete. And that is where you can also click a link and it's going to show you the PDF, just like the addendum down here, of the full grant agreement. You can then save it to your computer. You can share it with whoever needs to look through it. If you have legal that you want to look through any of the provisions, it's a pretty standard grant agreement. Anyone who, if you're familiar with, if you are a current existing grantee, you know what our provisions look like. But if you have any questions, reach out to your grant manager. All of the insurance requirements are in there, just your basic general overview of what is required to have a grant with the Learn 24 office, okay? And then once you sign off, it goes to your grant manager, who is going to check and make sure that the program sites, the number of youth, and your budget match what you put, what's in the grant award. So if you messed up and you deleted the wrong site, or you put the wrong number of youth or the wrong amount from what the award amount indicates, and listen, human error happens, we will then, that's that second checks and balances, that your grant manager will take a look at it, make sure that the things that you revised are accurate and reflective of your grant award, and then they will approve. And then it'll come to me. Typically it's our executive director, Dr. Lowe, who is out on maternity leave right now. So she has left this in my hands. I will sign off as the executor of these grant agreements as the interim ED in her absence. So as soon as I sign off, then it goes, you'll automatically receive an email with a PDF copy of the fully executed document. A couple things though I want to point out, and then I'll open it to questions. One is the grant manager is not going to, we want you to go ahead, complete this and sign off, even if you don't have your certificate of insurance in place. If you are a current grantee, you already have your COI in place. We may be letting you know that it's going to be expiring soon and you need to refresh it, but you have an existing certificate of insurance in place. If you are a new grantee, you're going to receive probably today from Dr. Howard Hope. If you remember hearing from him yesterday, he's going to send you a document that you need to complete that will kind of provide an overview of your services that we then send to the Office of Risk Management, and then Office Risk Management responds to us with this is the coverage that is needed. We used to have blanket insurance coverage, but we found like grantees were saying that wasn't always fair because we don't have transportation, we don't use this, we don't. So now it takes a little bit longer because we do it individually and they have to review it individually, but it allows you to have grant coverage specific to your program and you're not paying for something that you don't need. So that's that process, and you'll go back and forth with Dr. Hope until you have a approved. So you'll fill out the form. ORM will tell you what type of insurance you need. You'll go to your broker, get your insurance, get a certificate of insurance, send it back to us. We send it to ORM. ORM reviews it, and if they approve it, I know the steps seemed really long yesterday, but that was kind of the back and forth. If there's issues, the full gamut, so people understand if it's taking long, why, and you can look and see where you are in the process. But as long as your broker gives you the insurance that ORM indicates that you need, it goes pretty quickly, or quicker, I will say. Then we have the approved certificate of insurance. So I just want to point that out, because even though you have signed off here, your grant manager, even though everything may be correct, is not going to complete step number 7 until we have the certificate of insurance. Because when it comes to me for signature, I need to know that 1, the grant manager has approved that everything is correct in the grant agreement, and the certificate of insurance has been approved by the Office of Risk Management, because that is necessary for us to execute agreements. So if there is a delay in this step, that's because just know we're waiting on your COI, which you'll know where you are in that process as well. And then the other thing that I wanted to point out is once this is executed, it will roll over all of this information into your data management system. So your sites will already be set up, your activities will be set up. You'll be able to go in and edit it, add additional activities, etc. From like a programmatic level. You'll be able to do that to a degree, but basically everything that we roll over here is your program, and it is, established within the system. What you have to go in and do is add your staff. Again, and this is the training next Thursday. We'll walk you through that, but you're going to be adding your staff and their background clearances. You're going to be adding your student profiles. You're going to be enrolling them into your activities so that you can then take attendance. And that's how we track who you're serving, how often you're serving them, etc., for compliancy purposes. But a lot of this information will roll over. If at any point something changes and you say, we aren't, and with MADC, it won't be so much the case because you have established priority schools, but something happens and you need to change your budget, or you need, you're no longer working with staff, you're going to work with paid contractors, and you need to go in and move money in your budget. There will be an amendment process, and that function is rolling out with all of our grants by the end of this month, where you'll be able to go in and request an amendment change. I'm sorry, an amendment to your grant application, and then you'll be able to go in and change your budget or change your program sites. But once you execute the grant, it really rolls over all of that data, and that's what you're being tracked against. So I just kind of wanted to paint that picture so you understand that from the grant application through the grant agreement through data management, everything is going to exist here. You can also go in and see your organization uploads, and as things expire, such as a business license, you'll be able to upload new business license, etc. So this is Cityspan. Again, I know you're not completely new to it because you applied within Cityspan, but this is how our next step for grant agreement. With that, I won't stop sharing yet because in case you want me to flip back, but any questions? And I know you need to get in there and walk through the steps before maybe something pops up. So you can ask us questions at any time. You should know who your grant manager is at this point. If you don't, send me an email at Shanna Sampson. You hopefully have all received, or Learn24, which is our general email. You should have the presentation from yesterday that has all of the emails, but feel free to reach out to me with any questions, as well as your grant management specialist. Dr. Hope, I see your hands up. Would you like to share?
Ms. Sampson, a few grantees have indicated that they only have their current grant in the portal, not the MADC option on the drop down. I think you're still on mute, Ms. Sampson. Sorry.
My apologies. We're right across from each other, so I didn't want him to be echoing with me with my mic on. So thank you for letting us know that. MADC was busy. I got my last emails from them at almost 2 in the morning last night. They were working to roll this over so that we could do this training today, and MADC grant applications were rolled over to agreements, but there could be something that was missed. Has anyone been able to access the MADC grant agreements?
Yes, this is Camille Perry with the Lines of Concernment, and I do have access.
Okay, great. So do we know who I need to be able to give them some? And let me go back. Let me make sure you're in the right spot here. I'm going to go up here at the top. You're going to make sure that if you see only 2023 in here, it may be because you haven't are you able to click on this cycle here and change it to MADC? Because it will revert to your FY24 if you don't change it to MADC. So do we know if that's the issue, or if you are, see how I changed it to FY24 and now I see like Alliance of Concerned Men, this is your grant application under 24. But if you go up to this cycle and you change to MADC, then you're going to be able to see your grant agreement for MADC. Do we know if that's resolving it, or you do not have MADC in your drop down, or when you go to MADC, you don't see anything? Can someone come off mute and tell me what the issue is?
Yeah,
It may-
this is
this is-
Stacia. It's just not, it's not listed.
MADC is not listed. Okay. It's not listed in the cycle drop down?
Correct.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't come in a drop down at all.
Okay. And who, oh, so that's for Stacia is Fresh Farms. And who else did I hear from?
Clifton at Mommy's.
Okay. Okay.
Capitol Hill Boys Club.
You don't see it either. Okay. So it's working for some, but not others. So they'll need to go. And that gives me at least some examples. But anybody else?
DC Scores also doesn't see it.
Okay.
Also, Jessica from the house stage, it's not listed.
Okay. And you guys are all new, existing grantees, but so, and who told me they could see it? I thought that was also an existing grantee.
Yes, Alliance.
Yes,
Yeah,
Camille.
And Dolls and Dreams, we can see our profile as well.
Okay, okay. So maybe they were just working through last night and didn't get them all turned over, but I thought they had. Obviously, higher achievement, we're able to see yours. Well, I'm able to see everyone's. So let me just let them know. They'll work on that this afternoon. They're on the West Coast. So 2 o'clock in the morning wasn't near as late as it sounds, but it was still late that they were working on this. But as soon as they get in the office, they'll their work on getting that turned over. So give us through the end of the day. And if you still don't see it tomorrow, please let your grant management specialist know. Cityspan's usually very responsive, but we want to make sure that you are able to get in. It says Washington Global, you're still waiting to have a new login set up. And you see your proposal listed, but I do not see any grant agreement steps. It just says that the application is submitted. Okay, I think that you're in the wrong, Matt, I think you're in the wrong portal. You are in the RFA portal. You need to go into the grant agreement portal. Yes, you use the Learn24 data at dc.gov, and remember it's different credentials. If you go in with using the login password for your RFA, you're going to see the application submitted. So you want to go in and see it in the data management system. And that can be confusing. And sometimes, you know, some people prefer to use different browsers so that you keep them separate and you know to go into Explorer if you're going into the portal, and Chrome. It's up to you what works best for you. I just switch back and forth. I save my logins and switch back and forth between them, but you need to keep those straight. Any other questions or thoughts? I think I see maybe someone's hand up here. Let me see. People, Donnie.
Yeah, I was saying I didn't see Words, Beats, and Life, MADC, but I could also be in the wrong portal. Is there any way that you could scroll down and verify that?
Well, I see them all, but I'm an administrator, right? So I don't know
Okay.
if that is a difference, but it should say up here grants management system. I'm going to log out and show you what the portal.
Oh, yeah. So let's see.
See, I have a different email that says Shanna Learn RFA, or a different username for my portal, for the RFA portal. So if I go in there, so it's it looks different. It just has the Office of Out of School Time. It doesn't say data management. All
Yeah,
right.
the one I'm in, it says grant management system at the
Okay,
top.
so you are in the right one. So then if I go back into that one, here's the grants management system. It should say grants management system. And when you click that cycle, you don't see MADC.
No.
Okay. Okay. So it sounds like that is an issue kind of across the board there. I will contact them as soon as we get off this call. And like I said, give us until tomorrow morning, or you can check back by the end of the day. But because they're on the West Coast, sometimes they're working past our 5 o'clock hour to get these changes made. So give it till tomorrow morning. If it's going to be an issue that there's a delay and they say, hey, for any reason, which I do not anticipate, we're going to need through end of the day on Monday to do this, I will send out an email to everyone so that you know that that's when it will be available. But I don't anticipate that, but just in case, we'll
Thanks.
always work to keep you guys informed. Okay, so you're going to next get an email. One thing you can start working on is the COI, their certificate of insurance. If you don't already have one with us and you're a new grantee, you're going to receive that email from Dr. Hope, and you can be working on getting that filled out and sent back to us right away. Otherwise, as soon as you're able to access the grant agreement within the data management system, go ahead, make the changes, hit submit, and we'll get it executed. Because as another reminder, once it takes being executed, we need to execute a grant agreement to establish a requisition within the DIF's financial system. So as soon as you're executed, we can upload that and establish a requisition, which then sends it to the Office of Chief Financial Officer to establish a PO number. And that usually takes a couple weeks. So if you've been with us a while, sometimes that they rolled out diffs this year, a new system, and it was a little bit more delayed than a couple weeks. But so I say that kind of tongue in cheek, but it does take a bit for them to turn around that PO number. And once the PO number, you'll receive the email from them with the PO number. That's when you can submit your first invoice for 50% of your grant award. So that's the process. Again, if you run into any questions as you start moving through this, just reach out to us. We also have data has Mark, do you mind dropping the login for the office hours, the data office hours into the chat, please? Every Tuesday
Sure.
and Thursday at 12 o'clock, our data team is on and is able to help you work through any Cityspan issues you have, whether that's with the grant agreement, whether that's through data management. Once you start entering your staff and students, you can join that and they will provide live technical support. You can also email them at the learn24data at dc.gov and set up, if those times don't work for you, you can set up a separate time that you can meet one-on-one with them to provide technical support. I think I saw a question here. Shanna mentioned the grant specialists have been assigned. Where do we find this info? You should have received it. Oh, Alex, I'm yours for now. We're actually hiring a new grant management specialist to work with this portfolio of new grantees, as well as the ones that I'm carrying. So you will have a new GMS assigned once they're onboarded and ready to take it over. But for now, I'm working with all the new grantees. So you'll reach out to me. So if you're a brand new MA or a brand new grantee with Learn24 Office, I am your grant management specialist. Okay. All right, I'm going to give you these 15 minutes back so you can move on to other important tasks in your day and reach out to us. I'll stay on. So if you have any questions, we'll wait till everyone closes out. But otherwise, have a wonderful day and we'll see you next Thursday. Again, mandatory for new grantees, optional for anyone who needs a refresher in regards to how to use the data management system next Thursday at 2 p.m. See you then.
So you said next Thursday at 2, so not 11? Is that 2?
Yes, yes, it's
Okay,
at 2.
great.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Yes. And we sent that out to the invite to the point of contacts for each of the
Okay.
grants. So check with that person. They should have that link and can share it with you.
Hi, it's Diana from Global. I just have a quick question. How long does it typically take for the new account information to be set up?
It should be relatively quick. Our data management system, our data analyst will get that set up probably today. Oladay, do you have any, Oladay or Bioden, do you know if there's any delay in that process? Are you able to move forward? I don't want to speak for you and how long that may take.
I'm still working with Cityspan concerning that. We will reach out to the grantees most likely today.
Okay.
I should know about the account setup. We have a few, because Cityspan did do setup for most of the grantees, but if they have additional setup they want, they should send to Learn24 data at dc.gov, and we're going to be setting them up ASAP.
Yeah, that's right. That's a great reminder. I think what Cityspan does is they automatically, the point of contact, they set up an account and will send you an email automatically.
Yeah.
But yes, for additional users, we'll
Right.
need your name and email.
Right.
Thank you, Oladay.
Right. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Hi, Shannon. This is Remy with Dolls and Dreams.
Good to see you.
Yes, likewise. Thank you all again so much for another opportunity to continue to serve the youth in our communities. So I do have a question. I'm looking at in our portal because I can see it, the progress, everything says submitted. So I was taking my notes. I may have missed it, but there's an adjustment that needs to be made to the budget narrative because the budget awarded was just a slight difference, but we can't edit it. So should I contact?
Yeah, let me go in here and look at yours.
Okay.
It at the top of the screen, are you able to unlock?
Okay, I don't even see I don't even see it says status submitted. So I don't have that as an option. See, my screen doesn't even look like yours.
So if we go into Dreams Unleashed, and you see it doesn't say, are you sure you're in MADC?
Yes.
You're in MADC, so maybe you're able to see MADC, but you're not able to, because mine all shows, you can see my screen, it shows unsubmitted.
And see, your screen says grant admin. I don't see that.
Yeah, you won't see that.
Okay.
That's an internal, that's what I was saying that we do on the back end as the first step to load your amount and such. But your first one should say program description. So
it does.
But it's showing it as submitted?
All of them says submitted. So I can't even unlock anything.
Okay.
Any changes.
Okay. And you don't, when you click into it, at the top of the screen, you don't have an unlock up here?
Click on it. No, it just says program description. It doesn't have the save icon or submit.
And when you look at the actual program description, is it MADC's?
It is. It reflects both of the schools, everything.
Okay.
Yep, all of this information I can see. It just doesn't, I don't have the opportunity to unlock or save.
Okay. Okay, well, then that's a separate issue so for those that see it, it's in submitted. So I will let them know. So same thing where they're going to have to probably just go in since they were working late last night, missed some steps, and there's some bugs in there that need to just be cleared so that you are able. But again, if you don't see it by tomorrow, let me know. And if there is, or let Marcus know.
Yeah.
And if there is going to be any delay with that, we'll let you know.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
All right, take care.
Okay. All right. Well, team, I'm going to sign off and see you on the other side of the computer.